Imagine scrubbing the floors of the most prestigious oncology hospital in Chicago, a place where billionaire patients pay millions to survive, while you're wearing a faded blue jumpsuit and a name tag that everyone ignores. My name is Elena Vance, and I spent 10 years as a top surgical researcher in Zurich before a medical mafia framed me for their own malpractice, leaving me blacklisted and living in a shelter with nothing but my late daughter's stethoscope. It was a cold Monday night at St. Jude's Medical Center when a high-profile patient, the wife of a tech mogul, was rushed into the VIP wing with a rare post-surgical complication that the world's best doctors couldn't diagnose. I watched from the hallway as the star surgeon, a man named Dr. Sterling who cared more about his golf handicap than his patients, confidently ordered a treatment that I knew would kill her in less than an hour. He looked at me with pure disgust as I emptied the trash near his feet, telling me to stay in the shadows where you belong, unaware that I had spent my entire career studying the exact rare blood disorder that was currently suffocating his patient. To them, I was just a woman with a mop and a bucket who didn't even have a high school diploma on record. But as the patient's heart monitor began to wail and the doctors panicked, I realized that if I didn't step in, she would be gone before the next shift started. I knew that by speaking up, I was risking being arrested or deported. But as I looked at the dying woman, I saw my own daughter's face, and I couldn't stay silent anymore. If you've ever been treated like you're invisible by people who think they're superior, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below, because you're about to see what happens when the cleaning lady takes over the operating room. Make sure to like and subscribe for the first twist. The chaos in the VIP suite was absolute as the patient's blood pressure plummeted and Dr. Sterling stood frozen, his hands shaking because his textbook solution had failed. He was about to call the time of death when I dropped my mop and walked straight to the medication cart, grabbing a vial of a rare anticoagulant that no one else in the room had even considered. The nurses tried to tackle me, screaming that a janitor was trying to poison a billionaire, and Dr. Sterling actually raised his hand to strike me, shouting that he would have me thrown in a cage for the rest of my life. This is where the world stopped. I didn't back down. I looked him in the eye and recited the complex molecular sequence of the patient's condition in perfect medical Latin, catching him so off guard that he stopped mid-swing. This is the 4-minute mark, the life or death stake. Just as I was about to administer the dose, the hospital's armed security burst through the door with their tasers drawn, convinced that I was a deranged intruder. I had 10 seconds to save a life before I was neutralized, so I did something desperate. I used myself as a human shield, blocking the security guards while I plunged the needle into the IV line. The room went silent as the guards tackled me to the floor, the cold steel of the handcuffs clicking around my wrists, while Dr. Sterling sneered that I had just committed a felony in front of a dozen witnesses. But then a sound filled the room that changed everything. The erratic, dying beep of the heart monitor transformed into a steady, rhythmic pulse. The patient gasped, her eyes fluttering open for the first time in 3 days, and the oxygen levels on the screen began to climb into the green zone. If you can feel the heart-pounding tension of risking everything for a stranger, please like this video and subscribe to the channel to see how the hospital tried to cover up Elena's miracle. Subscribe for the final reveal. The hospital board tried to sweep my illegal intervention under the rug, offering me a secret payoff to leave the city and never speak of what happened. But they didn't realize that the patient I saved was the CEO of the world's largest medical insurance company. When she woke up, she didn't ask for Dr. Sterling. She asked for the woman in the blue jumpsuit who had whispered the cure to her while she was slipping away. Sterling was fired that same afternoon after the internal audit revealed he had ignored the symptoms I pointed out, and his career, built on ego and lies, collapsed in a single news cycle. I didn't take the payoff. Instead, I took a seat at the head of a new research foundation dedicated to protecting whistleblowers and providing free healthcare to the homeless community where I had lived for 2 years. My name was cleared, the Zurich records were corrected, and for the first time in a decade, I didn't have to scrub floors to survive. I was the one leading the surgeries. Integrity isn't something you find in a medical degree or a fancy office. It's the voice inside you that refuses to be silent when a life is on the line. I went from being the woman who was told to stay in the shadows to being the light that an entire city looks to for healing. Thank you for standing with me through this story of hidden brilliance and justice. If you believe that every person, no matter their job, deserves to be heard, please hit that like button and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Elena's victory. Subscribe to join our community of watchers who know that the most powerful people are often the ones the world tries to hide. Thank you for your support, and don't forget to like and subscribe.